Jerusalem Talmud Yomi Tractate Bikurim, Chapter 2, Mishnah 2. Some rules apply to tithe and first fruits, but not to truma, since tithe and first fruits need to be brought to the place. They need a declaration and are forbidden to the current mourner, but Rabbi Shimon permits. They are subject to removal, but Rabbi Shimon frees from the obligation. They forbid in Jerusalem the most minute amount to be eaten by the unauthorized and animals. Rabbi Shimon permits. These rules apply to tithe and first fruits, but not to truma. Halacha. They need to be brought to the place, because it is written in Deuteronomy 12:6, "There you shall bring your elevation offerings, your family sacrifices, your tithes, and your hands truma," or heave, they call it. Your hands heave the first fruits, since it is written in Deuteronomy 26:4, "The Kohen shall take the basket from your hand." So far, tithe, from where we know tithe, but from where first fruits? From where do we know first fruits? Rabbi Jacob Bar Chama said, in the name of Rabbi Elazar, Deuteronomy 26:13, the hallowed food. That hallowed food is meant which was described in the preceding paragraph. They need a declaration, since it is written in Deuteronomy 26:5, "You shall formally declare before the eternal your God." So far, tithe from where first fruits. Rabbi Jacob Bar Chama said in the name of Rabbi Elazar, Deuteronomy 26:13, the hallowed food. The hallowed food is meant which was described in the preceding paragraph. They are forbidden to the current mourner, since it is written in Deuteronomy 26:14, "I did not eat from it in my deep mourning." Lo achalti ba'oni mimenu. So far, tithe, from where first fruits, Rabbi Jacob Bar Acha said, in the name of Rabbi Elazar, the hallowed food. That hallowed food is meant which described in the preceding paragraph. In all these cases, we stated that Rabbi Shimon disagrees. For the declaration, Rabbi Shimon does not disagree. The declaration is the reading. There, Rabbi Shimon does not disagree, since it is written in Deuteronomy 26:5, you should formally declare. So is the Mishnah. They forbid in Jerusalem in the most minute amount. Rabbi Shimon permits. Their growth in Jerusalem is forbidden to be eaten, and Rabbi Shimon permits. Also, by the unauthorized or by animals, does Rabbi Shimon permit. Do not the rabbis agree with him? Since he asks them, do you not agree that if they are permitted for the unauthorized, they are permitted as animal feed? Does one need walls for unauthorized eating or for feeding animals? Just as one does not need walls for unauthorized eating, one does not need walls for feeding animals. The rabbis say they made Jerusalem something which has no possibility to become permitted. Anything which has no possibility to become permitted prohibits in the most minute amounts. Similarly, Jerusalem prohibits in the most minute amounts. And what do Rabbi Shimon and the rabbis disagree? About growth. But in mixtures, even Rabbi Shimon agrees. What is the difference between growth and mixtures? In mixtures, all exists. In growth, it already has disappeared. Where Rabbi Shimon agrees with the rabbis is in mixtures of tithe, but mixtures of first fruits are treated like growth. And so did Rabbi Shimon say, first fruits do not forbid their mixtures or growths to be eaten in Jerusalem. What is the difference between tithe and first fruits? Tithe cannot be lifted, first fruits can be lifted. Rabbi Shimon agrees that the seyah lifted for another seyah needs walls and needs use, but the rabbis say all need walls and need use. Rabbi Yochanan went to a place and said, I am Ben Azai here. There came an old man to ask him. He said, the growth from truma is truma, the growth from their growth is profane. But the growths from tevel, second tithe and first tithe, After growth of the sabbatical, heave truma from outside the land, dema, the first fruits are profane. And first fruits are profane. There you say their growth is permitted. Why do you say that here their growth is forbidden? He said to them, where do we say their growth is permitted? For things whose seeds disappear. Where do we say their growth is forbidden? For things whose seeds do not disappear. He said to him, but did we not state what is one whose seeds do not disappear? For example, are arum, garlic, and onions? Are arum, garlic, and onions obligated for first fruits? He said, the Ben Azai from here went away, as you say. He asked Rabbi Yanai, who told him, for tithe everything was classified as things whose seeds do not disappear. Rabbi Yochanan's argument seems inverted. There, Rabbi Joshua ben Levi said, it was quoted for the horns of a cadaver. He said to him, did the teacher not teach, I saw the size of 2 beans? Should he have said here also their growths? In addition, from the following, in Deuteronomy 12:17, you may not eat your grains tithe in your gates, about which tithe has been said, about pure second tithe which entered Jerusalem and left. Also from the following, which Rabbi Shimon stated, it was stated in the name of Rabbi Shimon, tithe is special in that tithe forbids its money, mixtures, and vessels. The doubt of an admixture forbids in the most minute amount, and one may not use it for lighting. He should say, the same holds for growth. Rabbi Hila said, he who says growth is permitted, Rabbi Shimon, those who say growth is forbidden, the rabbis. They said to him, did we not state growths from dedicated seeds and second tithe are profane? One who redeems them corresponding to the time of sowing, why does he have to redeem? Not because of their inherent sanctity. Here also they should require walls because of their inherent sanctity. Rabbi Jeremiah, Rabbi Ami, in the name of Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish, when one says the growth is forbidden, the prohibition of walls, when one says the growth is permitted, the permission for unauthorized persons, these rules apply to tithe and first fruits, but not to heave. There, as we have stated also, I gave it, includes heave and heave of tithe. There you say that heave needs declaration, but here you say heave does not need declaration. Rabbi Hila said that there they stated heave and first fruits, both the one who gives and the one who takes need to declare. Rabbi Zera said the rabbis there think, and the rabbis here say, if a person has only tithe, he declares. If a person has only heave, he does not declare. Rabbi Yossi said, a Mishnah says so. Rabbi Yossi says they have their cities of refuge. Where do we hold? If about heave and tithe, they are his, but it must deal with heave. Rabbi Hila said, we did understand that if a person has only tithe, he declares. If a person has only first fruits, he declares. We now understand that if a person has only heave, he declares.